The numbers we've got here are really around population and just the fact that the growth in people on this world and how we're going to support them is continuing to grow. There's more mouths every year, and that is starting to exert pressures. The impact of water and the importance of fresh water, and the fact that that's becoming rapidly a scarce resource. It's getting hotter and hotter every year. And why we sort of run all of these things together is to say, actually where all of these challenges intersect is sort of what we do day to day, which is providing food, working through the industry from manufacturing, farming, out through to selling that and hitting the communities and people that we sell our products to. And the general storyline is to say that sustainability claims on pack that we see in our language around advertising are continuing to grow. Products that make sustainability claims are growing faster or 5 times faster than products with no claim at all in this space. And the prevalence of clean label, simple formulations and sustainable provenance is driving growth in platforms and is becoming a big business. And then we get to New Zealand, which happens to be where we're standing, and to say there is a big need globally. There is a big interest from everyone around how do we buy and sell and actually communicate on sustainability. And then we look at our farming systems, and we have got an absolutely amazing story to tell here. You know, we're fortunate enough to get up every morning and even looking out here at green pastures. I've just recently returned home from Singapore, and one of the first things you notice is what the air smells like when you arrive back in New Zealand. What an amazing environment that we have. And our farming systems are something to be proud of. We are fortunate in terms of the sunshine that we have, the rainfall, pasture growth, the ability to have a pasture-based farming system, the animal welfare and efforts that we put into what the impacts of that are. And importantly, and what's probably become more importantly when we're in a sales perspective is actually how efficient our farming systems are and how they stack up versus the rest of the world. The headline we've got here is to say actually a full end-to-end analysis of dairy from New Zealand out to the rest of the world is actually at around a third of the global average of the carbon footprint for producing dairy products. The storyline sounds nice and easy, and it's a straight line to how do we go and take this story out and just sell it, and everyone loves our products. Consumers and customers buy from us for a variety of different reasons, and their decisions are not always as logical as I've just played out. They'll go through their list around, well, what things are they willing to pay for and what priority do they put against each of them. And when your priority is being able to feed your family tomorrow, a sustainability claim or how it was farmed is not necessarily at the top of their list. The second one, which was probably a little bit more surprising, is where you go to highly developed markets, and we talk Europe or United States or North America, where sustainability is well understood, the language has been there for a long, long time. They're in the supermarket and you're going to buy something and you've narrowed it down to a choice between 2, and one of them had a little claim of sustainability on the packet. You'd probably pick that one over the other one, but 80% of your decision making's been made before you got to the sustainability claim at the bottom of the packet. And in reality, if the sustainability one was a bit higher or had some other barrier, you would have probably looked over it and gone for the thing that was on sale. Buying behaviour is not black and white yet. So it's a challenging story to tell at a mass scale. And then we get to the sort of the third issue on this here is that actually sustainability is a catchy word, but doesn't have a standard that's global. And the problem that we have is that we can do a lot of work, and there's a lot of research talked about today around what we've done, what all the changes we've worked through, how do we validate that. It's not that hard to put a picture of a cow on a nice meadow on a bottle of milk and drive the impression that that's where that milk came from in a retail sense. And so it's a challenge for us to talk around, well, what is a good standard? I guess the storyline would go, and we do this ourselves in Fonterra. So Fonterra's made a claim that says we're going to reduce our carbon emissions by 30% by 2030, and we're going to be carbon neutral by 2050. Great. It's not on really any of our labels around how we sell stuff, but it does help with our government relations. It helps with our right to operate. It helps with, I guess, on topics when we're talking about market access, or the fact that we are good corporate citizens and that we are doing our part for this topic and making sure that we have a right to operate in all the markets that we play in. All of our partners, or all the big established brands, do a similar thing. They'll have someone in their head office who works through and says, here's our commitments to sustainability. In the sustainability space, we'll work with large partners around how we work with them. They'll tell us to say, look, here's 6 or 8 areas I need you to be good in order to be a supplier of ours. We help our partners work through how they can progress their sustainability commitments. The second one is, of course, how do we help them tell stories about the uniqueness of our supply chain and give them some ideas around how we might connect with consumers. So that's where we're making hard claims on labels around what our ingredients do that others cannot. That's where we talk about being grass-fed, being GMO-free. At one end of the spectrum would be organic certification, but there's a whole range of things that we can do below that helps differentiate a brand or a customer talk around the ingredients they use are really special because we do it this way. And then the third level is sustainability solutions across supply chains. They'll start out on a farm, they'll look at the farming system, they'll look at how we milk, they'll look at our quality, they'll look at our tankers, they'll look at our factories, look at our warehouse shipping all the way out to where their products reach consumers. And they're looking for stories to say, how is this unique? So there is a lot of work that goes on with partners and brand owners around how do we bring the New Zealand story and send that through and bring that into how do we sell our products and make sure that we're getting whatever returns we can from this where it makes sense. Which sort of brings me back to the wrap up, why we tell this story, is to say, one, it's definitely a right to operate. In some cases, there's no option with how the governments are going, what we're needing to do from a social responsibility perspective. We're looking at sustainability as a whole. I'd definitely like to, I think the challenge we were put at the front here was to say, is this just going to be regulations or is this an actual sales opportunity? My answer is absolutely, we're looking at it as both. There is parts of this that are going to be unavoidable, but wherever possible, we should also be out there trying to tell our story and make sure that we're marketing and selling our products to the best we possibly can.